Give me 1 second. I'm just sharing these videos. All right, give me 1 more second. I've got to grab more things from inside the house. I got a few little errands, so I figured I'd go on live and talk to some people and see what's going on out here. I wanted to flex my outfit again, except I changed the undershirt. And what what I ended up doing was I got basically the same outfit, but I'm just rocking the kicking it old school too. I really like this outfit. My OG got it for me. Mother and proper English. But yeah, so basically I know y'all see the video title. I just want to give y'all kind of like a guide. Now a lot of people may know this basic information, but there's a lot of information that people don't know about. Um One, first and foremost, if you're a natural born citizen, or even if you got your status or whatever, I don't know how it works for immigrants necessarily. But what it is if you are a citizen, you have a local DHS office somewhere in your city or state or whatever. Well, what happens is after you turn 18, if you don't have a job, what they're required to do is if you go up there and tell them that you don't have any food and you're hungry, they ask you a lot of information and whatnot. But after 18, you are no longer under your parents, legally under your parents' care. I see a lot of like random Americans and random people over the age of 18. They'll be like, I still stay with my parents and I don't have any money or this and that. And a lot of times I'll tell them, what you do is you go to the DHS office, your local aid office, public aid, whatever y'all call it, and you tell them that you're hungry and you need food and you don't have an income. Or they're going to be like, who do you stay with and this and that. It doesn't matter how they pressure you. After 18, if you don't have a job, you're not under your parents' care anymore. So what you tell them is you stay with family because that's the truth. Say, I stay with family and I'm hungry and who I stay with doesn't have the ability to take care of me anymore and I'm being threatened with living on the streets. So when you do that, they're required to give you a link card. They call it a link card, but it's called an EBT card. And if you're over the age of 18, you're eligible for this. I don't care who you like, unless somebody's actively like claiming you and using you, but after 18, you don't your parents can't get any money for you in the IRS and earn income credit. And so after the age of 18, they're no longer required to take care of you. And that's why I tell people, I don't care what's going on here for your life. If you're over 18 and don't have a job, the DHS office is required to give you all a EBT card. It comes with at least $199 or $200. A lot of times people who already have kids know about these situations and so they're getting it. Even if you have kids and you're a grown man and depending on how much you make, if you make a lower income, they're still required to give you certain amounts. Now, the whole medical thing, that has to deal with something else. If you have either kids or a bunch of illnesses and stuff, because of Obamacare, they have a lot more programs to give people medical aid. But they still have programs. Years ago, before I was involved with the Medicaid and stuff, I had an injury happen to me. And what ended up happening was I got into a fight. And when I went to the hospital and stuff, when I got done talking to the police and everything, because I didn't, get them no like names or nothing, because that ain't what this is. But what I'm saying is they had me fill out all this paperwork and stuff so that charities, when you can't afford, can sometimes pay for certain bills and accidents. And so that's why I tell people, starting off with the DHS office, there's a lot of aid out here. It's just hidden and not in plain sight. Just like I'll tell you a common lie they're saying you don't need an ID to vote. I don't know what state y'all live in, and I don't know what government buildings you all are walking in. But if you try to vote in the state of Illinois without an ID, they'll laugh at you. You'll get your ass turned right the fuck back around. I'm telling you, you will. So a lot of this stuff is just media bullshit that the red is just putting out here to basically throw people off. But back to public aid. So yeah, if you're over the age of 18, you're eligible for aid. And when they get to asking you, who's taking care of you, what bill? Okay, tell them I just told you I don't have a job and I'm trying to survive. My parents don't take care of me anymore, and I'm not required to put their income on my stuff. Same with HIPAA. If that's the case, then try to go get your parents' medical information after 18 and watch what they tell you. I'm telling you, they'll try to pressure you not to do certain things, but these are the building blocks that we need once we become adults. Because a lot of our parents can't take care of us anymore. A lot of times, what they show is like they'll show parents paying for college until blah 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 and all this other stuff. Dude, that is fairy tale movies. Us real humans in the real world, once you graduate or whatever happens after high school, you're out here in the jungle. I've seen people that get straight A's because their parents can't afford college and other types of stuff, either in community college or joining the military and stuff. I'm trying to teach people to survive once they hit the real world. So then, even outside of the link card, that's basic. You know what I mean? They show a lot of people out here starving and homeless, but a lot of times what they don't show is people have lost their information and dealt with a lot of mental illness, and that's why a lot of people are actually really homeless, or people that dealt with crimes and stuff like that before. So outside of public aid, not outside of public aid, but then outside of that, you have a lot of other programs. If you're like a single dad and you have your kids, or mothers out there that have kids, they have churches and church programs. Years ago, they have something within Ameren. If your electric bill goes so high, I think it's called light heap or something like that. If you're in Illinois, I don't know about other states. If it goes so high, what they do is every year, so many years, I think it's yearly, around like the October time or whatever, like the sort of like the fall months. What they do is you have to check up on this. You're on your own because I haven't been around it in a long time because I was working full time. But what light people do is they'll pay your electric bill if it gets too high. Now I don't know the exact parameters, but that's what I'm trying to teach people. Learn about these programs. A lot of time they make fun of people for public aid and make fun of these programs, but they're here to help. You see, they're not. You see, they're going after these politicians who made fun of people who said they didn't deserve aid in Florida. What's the difference? One may be a bigger scale, but the smaller scale will tip and become bigger if too many people don't know how to survive. And that's why I just give basic information for people. If you are over the age of 18 and even if you live with your parents still, or if you get kicked out, whatever's going on, you're not, when they ask you, where do you stay? I stay with family and I'm going hungry. That's all you required to tell. They're going to ask a bunch of your information, who takes care of you, this and that. I'm staying with family and I feel embarrassed because I'm moving place to place. Because if your parents get tired of you, what they're going to do? They're going to kick you out, right? This is relief for you and your parents, even if you do stay with your parents. If you don't stay with your parents, it's a field day. They can't say nothing to you unless you're not an American citizen, I guess. But even if you're an immigrant, you see all these. Okay, so this is what I want to explain to you all. What they're giving to immigrants and stuff, this has been here for Americans the whole time. This is what the news is attacking. You don't think Caucasian Americans and African Americans haven't been using benefits? We all have been trying, but what do these rich people in the news do? Oh, public aid, public blah, 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 blah. So then when they give it to the immigrants, what are people doing? Getting mad? We've been had this stuff, but everybody demonizes it, and so when people try to use it, they feel bad. And so they have all types assistance for trying to get your homes and loans, all type of stuff, bringing loans down, bankruptcies and stuff. This stuff is out here, but people are making it sound like it's bad. So back to a couple of other side of things. You got something called the plasma center. I don't know. Each city has a different plasma center. And when you're a first time donor, they gave me a light, like a lime color one this time. It matches with my Rick and Morty shoes. I thought that was really nice. But and the tech was really nice. She was really nice, the phlebotomist or whatever they're called. But that's a small way to get money. What they do is it's just like donating blood, but it's different, and you actually get money for it. What they do is they stick a needle in your arm, just like your syringe or something. And what they do is they take your blood and you're pumping, and when they take the blood, it goes into the machine, and it pulls out the plasma, and then they give you saline, and the blood goes back into the body. Now I've been doing this for years when I was on the streets beforehand. When I say streets, I'm not talking about fresh leaving parents' house, learning my way, I was going to community college and learning different things. But plasma out here, depending on your weight, you get about $100 a week. But when you're a beginner, you get $100 per donation. Each city is different, and each reward is different. But they've got a bunch of guidelines. They basically ask you if you have HIV or AIDS or any of those things, blood diseases. They'll ask you, have you now if you've been to jail for longer than 3 days? What they do is, if you haven't been longer than 3 days, it don't matter. You can tell them no. But the thing is, if you've been in jail for more than 3 days at a time, they have to do additional tests and run a bunch of stuff. They'll ask you if you have any tattoos or piercings. If you've had them for more than a year, I think it is, then they won't really worry about it and it won't affect you. But there's different guidelines. Almost everybody donates. That like the people on the lower end of the spectrum, I see all types of people donating. Even people with money sometimes donate for the beneficial factor. What you're doing when you donate plasma, they're taking the plasma out of the blood and making medications out of it, and so then it's basically beneficial, symbiotic. Now they getting a bunch of money per bottle, and so it literally is kind of like a donation. But what it is it's a way to help if you don't have anything. Now a bunch of you may have money, you may be hee hee ha ha. But anybody who's really hurting, I brought up the DHS office for Link and Medicaid. If you got kids, I've brought up because if you guys were working and had money and had jobs before, but now you're working like fast food and stuff, you can go get Medicaid and stuff. You wouldn't believe how many people I talked to that lost their jobs and stuff and were executives or doing all this stuff now doing something more low end. You're eligible for Medicaid medical card. You don't have to try to be some mega hustler that gets back to making America great. I mean, you can do what you want, but there's programs and benefits out here for people. That's what I'm trying to explain to people and get them to understand. Who cares what the news and the right and everybody else calls you? If you're hurting and you need help, that's why when they bring up the eating cats and dogs stuff, is so disrespectful. If you're an American citizen, I'm telling you, they take care of people at least with food. Now, if you're bored and and think about people who don't do no cigarettes, no weed, none of that stuff. Now they just got coming up. Any odd jobs, money, anything. They're being disrespectful towards people, and that's what I'm trying to teach people. When you learn for yourselves, it starts to make sense. So, you got the DHS centers. Some cities have like egg donor centers and sperm donor centers for different people. I don't think anything like that is around here. I'd have to travel, but I'm not really going to travel for that. But they got the DHS office, the plasma centers. They've got a bunch of there's always the possibility of they got like career link. I know. Here's another thing for people that don't. Let's say you're fresh out of high school and now you're like, I'm not going to go to college, and maybe you are still staying with your parents or whatever. Here's another thing. They have something called the FAFSA. Now, I don't know how, like, if you're over 26, age 26, I don't know if it's changed. They definitely can't use your parents' information. But for people for like 18 through certain ages, what ends up happening is they might use your parents' information if you live with them, or if there's, but if you tell them, if your parents are low income, they're not going to bother you. You see what I'm saying? So I forget how much, but the classes usually come out to like 1,500 per semester plus books and all sorts of stuff. But they'll give you FAFSA. It's like up to 7 grand. I don't know if it's any higher now, to where you can go to your community colleges and local colleges. But you go to FAFSA.org, FAFSA.org, and just get entangled with that stuff. That's what happened when I first got kicked out. I went to FAFSA. I went online to the FAFSA, figured out how much community college would be at the college. They got me all connected with everything, because the college will really think about it. Most schools are businesses, but them community colleges want their students and their money too. They'll help you get into these. I'm telling you, because when I first think about stuff in my mind, I'm like, I don't. These people don't want me, and I'm going to be a burden. Man, when I got up in that school, they was like, oh, come on, son. Yeah, we could get you. You don't got no crimes and other stuff, and they was thirsty to help me. And that's what I'm trying to tell people. There are institutions and there are places that'll help you throughout life. You just have to find them and be patient and learn and grow. Even as much as I talk about a lot of churches will help you all. Most of these soup kitchens and these places that do help, a lot of times on Facebook and the media, when I see different people helping, it's a church. When I see people feeding people, it's these African schools and institutions out here that's deep in Africa, giving children food every day and giving them lunches for school and stuff. And their churches' names are attached to it. So there's good and bad in different places. That's why I said, verily, don't think about good and bad, and just do what's right to survive and do what you have to do to live. There's food pantries. That's another thing. Even if you are running low on food, like I said, as much as I talk about how they can try to be slick with trying to get government income taxes and tax cuts, There's a lot of food out here. There are some food pantries that have given me food I've never had before. And when I ate that food, I was like, oh my goodness, it was delicious. They give out all types of meats and breads and all types of stuff. And they do it throughout the week. There's the government center, there's DHS office, really, especially if you're like, my videos are for everybody. But what people fail to realize is there are people that were wealthy and had a lot of stuff and now are hurting. I see a lot of times people going on YouTube talking about like, I need to get money and I need to do this and that. If you're a low end YouTuber, especially people that don't smoke and stuff, me personally, I smoke weed. And even if you do smoke weed, it's really helpful. But like, it's not always about in the media getting big at first. Sometimes you gotta hustle through your environment like a sim, learn yourself and your environment, come up that way, and then once you get big, you can appreciate the low end. Maybe like me personally, if I was to get big, you don't think I won't be going? See, like, and I'm gonna just give you a piece of my heart. After my first donation, what I do, I see a couple people panhandling, give them a couple dollars. Another lady I see walking on the street all the time, gave her a couple cigarettes. Another person, you know what I'm saying, I'm grabbing some chips at the store. Hey, you want a bag of chips too? That's just how I am. So if I was to get big, a lot of people probably wouldn't understand. Like, why is Juan giving money away? Why is he doing this and that? Because I'm from certain areas. And so I try to give information. I try to give anything I can to help if I can. Now, if I'm in wrath mode, you know, push no man to wrath, we all got our attitude, we all got our angers. That's really what I talk about when I talk about knowing thyself. You know what I mean? I don't mean like, oh, pick a character in history and that's who you were and you were some god. That's not what I'm talking about. I mean, know your actual surroundings. A lot of times you don't hear me telling people they're sinners, or you won't hear me telling somebody they're sinning. Because what I do is I know that in my mind, I have what everybody does. We possibly have thousands of demons or demonic thoughts or all types of stuff. But me, being who I am in the heart, try to use the spirit of fire and the sword to battle all that so that I can be who I am on camera for you. That's essentially the kingdom of the heart. Of course, there's all type of battles we all go through. We all each have our own individual journey. But then we battle those. That's the real Lord, if you ask me, the one keeping us alive. And then who we are, the consciousness or whatever you want to call us, the people, go out and live life. And that's why I try to teach people to be kind, because you never know what kind of battle they find up there. They might look like the strongest person, and their lord might be getting overpowered at the moment by demons, and they trying their hardest to fight it. So now if I come give somebody some encouragement, boom, now they got an ally out there fighting. Oh, you get. That's just how I feel personally. So, you know, me, I try to help people that's on the bottom so they can get back on top. I try to warn people, you know, a lot of doctors can be good and stuff like that. I know some people that are at the end of their ropes and gotta involuntary, and I tell people those are the people that really need help. But in terms of the people that be like, am I bipolar, am I this, am I that, you're all of the, we all are. Of course you're gonna be mad one moment and calm another moment. If I'm sitting on my couch doing something I love and then somebody comes banging on my door and asking for crazy stuff, or what am I gonna do? Am I still gonna be calm? Yeah, man, thanks for inconvenient. No, I'm gonna be like, man, what do you want? Do. That's life. They're trying to create like robots out of humans, and they're running into biological issues and errors, if you will. So that's the best way I can describe it or explain it. But anybody that's on the bottom, like I said, over 18, go try to get your link card. They'll try to, who's taking care of you and this and that? Nobody. Shit, you see I'm out here trying to get a link card. They try to make people feel bad for getting resources, but when they do that, where do the resources go? Into the pockets of the rich. I bet you they don't feel bad I bet you them buildings that cost money to build, they didn't have a problem with that. I bet you their income, because even you want to look at it, if they have a problem with the people that come into these different offices and ask for help, who pays them to deal with people who need help? I bet you they don't complain when they get their paychecks, and if they do, now how much better the people coming in trying to get food? Exactly. So, you know, plasma centers, donation centers, there's all kind of stuff. I don't know exactly how it works out here, but I know some women who have too long hair and just vainly get it cut, they pay for hair. I'm telling you, just find out where and how. They'll pay you for hair. You wouldn't believe how much people pay for hair. There's something else. I don't know exactly how to get involved, but I can research it. They're buying melanin. I didn't know that. African Americans looking at, I mean, shit, if you want to, I don't know. I heard that stuff is expensive. What can I say? Everything about us is expensive. But no, I'm just trying to help people, you know, be strong again and make humans great again, make life amazing again. You know what I mean? America, that's where we live. You know what I'm saying? That's, of course, I don't want my house to be dirty. So, you know what I mean? I don't, it's the only way I can explain it. We got to clean our homes because people will be like, people will always want to blame somebody else. But when I tell people you can do that all day long, but you're the one blaming, obviously something's wrong on the inside. So we can blame other people for certain things that happen. But if I want a beautiful life, I got to fix myself. I got to get right with myself. I got to do what makes myself happy. And sometimes people out there feel like that's following other people into the pit of hatred and racism and misogyny and anti-LGBTQT and all this other stuff. But me personally, like I tell people, I'm not gay. But why would I go have a problem with gay people? That's their kingdom. That's their life. Also with gay people, stop asking people if y'all can be gay. I had a man ask me a long time ago. He said, "Can I be gay for God?" And I keep telling y'all, I don't understand what that means because when I hear the word God, I hear I am, and then all them scriptures are word and spirit. So then it's I am on the inside, and then I even give word to do what you can do anyway, right? So if your Lord is telling you that He's cool and that's what He wants to do, and you're coming to me and my Lord asking me if your Lord can do that. That's how you institute slavery. You're asking me what it's okay for you to do. Now, that's why I tell people I don't tell people what sin is. If you're doing actual harm, like if somebody's beating somebody up or doing something wrong or stuff, we have laws, right? Assault and battery and all these other laws to protect people and all type of laws, right? Those are there for a reason to protect us, because even y'all read these ancient books, none of them are exempt. Judaism will talk about Islam, but what was the Old Testament guys doing? Or what was the people in the Old Testament doing to fulfill what they thought was God? Because the hand of fire wrote 10 commandments. All that other stuff sounds like their imagination. So even outside of that, what was they doing? So how are they going to? They would have to denounce the Torah to even talk about Muslims. Do y'all understand what I'm telling y'all? Christians would have to denounce the entire Bible to even talk about Muslims or Jewish people. It's all a big circle. So the people who follow whatever they follow righteously and don't cause harm and have a beautiful story, that's my people basically. That's who I love because they not causing harm to people and hurting people's feelings. And it sounds like the 42 laws of Mu'ah. I will not cause anyone to cry. If you actually read the 42 laws of Mu'ah and read what they institutions was, you wouldn't be so quick to call these pharaohs evil. But if you learn where Pharaoh come from, it would make sense. It didn't even come from Africa. It's not an African creation. I mean, technically, if you want to think about it, aliens, illegal aliens, people who invaded Africa. When I say aliens, I'm not talking about flying saucers and spaceships. Please understand. People who invaded Africa, and then pharaohs were created. But they won't tell you that part of Moses' story. They'll tell you the part where blah 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 Torah. And if you really think about it, the Torah did come in 4000 BC because it's got Atum's name in it, right? Atum, and that's when Atum was being formed in Egypt. So it's just interesting how they call Ham evil, but then call the ones who invaded Africa the god of Shem blessed. It's like irony. So once you can wrinkle out your clothes, you'll see what the irony is doing to the human heart, and then we could all start to grow and love again. So like I said before, I'm thankful for everybody who's donated to me in these trying times. I'm thankful for everybody who's tried to help me because what happened was I spoke against these rich popes and rich people taking money, and then my income was afflicted for some reason. And then after that, all of America's income was afflicted. So I hope they begin to understand who I am. I'm not a mean person. I'm not angry. I mean, y'all buck was doing fine until y'all decided to increase the prices of everything. And I told y'all what inflation does. It doesn't increase the value of your dollar. So as I tell people, if this water bottle costs $1, but then now you go to a football game and it costs $10, okay, it's cool that we get a football game, but you just destroyed the value of the dollar in so many different ways. If you go to Six Flags and now get a $10 Sprite, I'm telling you, Six Flags, what you're doing with the dollar, you get richer by keeping it low and making it be able to buy a bunch of stuff and then having a bunch of them anyway. But I don't think people understand what inflation means. I keep telling y'all, because look at these businesses. If y'all would just lower the prices of everything, I mean across the board, the entertainment park, the distributors that distribute to the entertainment park, the construction companies that build the stuff, if all of y'all would just lower the prices right now, y'all will become billionaires and the price of the dollar would. Look at the rest of the world. Look what the world is saying. Oh, $1 gets us all this stuff in our land. So we're the ones fucking the dollar up over here. Make it back normal and bring like prices back low again. They talking about making America great again. Fix your currency. Fix all the people on the streets that are worth more than currency. Because if instead of all these people being homeless and poor and hurt, if they get on camera saying how amazing America is again, then America will be great again. So I'm just trying to teach this to people to the best of my ability. They think getting millions of dollars makes them rich, and it doesn't. Because if they're the ones increasing the price of everything, then none of the dollar is going to be worth anything. People are going to say, fuck America later, and then the yuan's going to rise again in China. Really interesting name, by the way. Thank you. Seems like they give reverence to the Most High. Their dollar is actually named after who I am. That's super awesome. But anyways, back to the point. A lot of stories like to take from who I am. And then when I say everything will be returned to the temple one day, I don't think they understand how or why. Because all those men are dead and gone, and now my faithful servant is out here doing what he needs to make the real great again. So what do y'all want from me? I can't. It is what it is. So if this man has a Santa Claus mug drinking out of his tea out of his cup, I'm not an idolater or a pagan. I don't care about Santa Claus. But I think it's just oh so funny how I said everything will be returned to my temple and now I drink out of his top. Because I don't worship him or give him reverence, but I think it's just the cutest little ornament in my home. Or a Christmas tree. How they used to slay innocent people for them and worship them like gods. But now, in return to the Most High, I don't slay people for no reason. I don't just slay people. I don't slay people, period. I don't worship a tree. But those lights are so beautiful, and now they can hang all around my home and on my Christmas tree at Christmas time. Do I worship any of that motherfucking shit? No. But I think it's a beautiful, pretty ornament in my home. See? That's how this shit works. So people come up and be like, Christmas is a pagan holiday. Okay. Am I not going to take a gift? What the fuck is wrong with you, man? If somebody came up and gave you $20, you'd be like, oh, thank you. Oh, Christmas pagan. You see what I'm saying? Like, chill out. And so one time I said a man told me not to be a fanatic one time. And at that point in time, yeah, it did cause me a little fire spin, but that's one of the best advice anybody could ever give me. Don't be a fanatic. Live your life and understand life for what it is. And do what you need to survive. Because a lot of people here be talking and they'll be like, I came to America, that's great. Okay, that's a beautiful. I said America's a beautiful place. And I said what I deal with is different what other people deal with. But me as a natural American citizen, I don't go up to you and tell you your country wasn't bad. Why'd you come here? Okay then, I understand where I'm coming from. So a truly humble man like me will understand, okay, I'm being given my blessings. I get food for free. I get food for free. I got Medicaid. I have um I was working to pay for this house and I got a little bit more to go, but now I gotta figure out another way to get income. I've just recently multiple people have given me job offers actually. Well, the staff, I have to go and fill out applications and do certain things. And then my mom said her job's hiring again, so blessings are coming. And I don't think psych healthcare was the best for me. And so, like I said, psych healthcare can heal a lot of things and can fight a lot of darkness. But sometimes it goes a little too far. And so right now, for me personally, I think it's best for me to be in another industry. I can still work medical. I just don't want to be in psych healthcare per se. I did it for 10 years. Cool. I actually still want to get my LPN. I might one day go to Caspin. And what I'll end up doing is finishing the program because at first it was impossible to get into Caspin down there. But I took the online test and got an 81%. And not only that, their requirements are much lower after COVID. I see the world is actually really needing medical health care workers, and so now the requirements are lesser. And so you see in times of emergency, all those silly, they want you to have like 3 or 4 letters of reference, a church letter, a letter from the community, your employer's letter. Now it just went to, hey, come apply. You know what I mean? So sometimes it takes a little reminding to remind people what's important in life. So I love you all. It's been fun talking to everybody. I've been on for about 30 minutes now. And when dealing with me and my lives, I'm like a lucky charm. But y'all not finna strawberry smiggles me, so to speak. I'm like that leprechaun. My birthday is March 17th. That's funny. But you got to catch me when you catch me. Even my videos, I don't have specific times when I do things. The spirit leads me as it will. Some days I'll be like, ugh, I don't even feel like making no videos. Other days I'll be in the middle of doing something and it's like, oh, video, come on, hurry up and finish so I can go do it. It's just how it is. But in terms of working, if I have a career, no, all this, especially if people see me when I say things like I am God and I am the Messiah, all that other stuff, I keep telling you, if y'all would actually watch my videos, I'm not saying I'm you all's Lord God over. And I give multiple videos talking about what God and Jesus both mean. So what I'm doing is teaching people that I am who I am, and I make my own decisions and I make my own way. But I teach people that I follow the Ten Commandments and other various words to keep me level-headed and on the stone, so to speak. So it's not like delusions of grandeur. I'm not doing all that. I'm not like, oh, magic powers and I own you and you're my slave. None of that. It's just simple words to help people caught in bondage, if that makes sense. A lot of people will think of religion and they go once again from a secular what they think and believe, but they don't realize how many people out here in this world are tormented by religion, cosplay, and stupidity. And so I am digging deep like a spiritual surgeon to pull out the toxins and the viral infections, if you will, from a spiritual standpoint. So I love you all. Have a beautiful day. And remember, we're all beautiful. We just need reminders sometimes. Because everybody wants to be Judah, but what about Naphtali? What about everybody else?